Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Alicia Hutchinson. I am the 4-H agent here in Flagler County. I am so excited to see so many of you come today. I would like to take a moment to recognize our county administrator and commissioners and thank them for all their dedication and support for our youth here in Flagler County. Today, round of applause. Today, we have the opportunity to look through the eyes of our youth and see what the world is like for them, their passion, their interest, and their hard work. I am proud of each and every single one of you today. You have spent countless hours perfecting your speech, and the hard work has truly paid off. Congratulations and good luck as you have your speech one final time. The Tropicana Public Speaking Contest helps to build self-esteem, gain valuable communication skills, as well as teach a lesson on writing on how to present a public speech. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to all the teachers and administrators. Thank you for allowing 4-H to come into your classroom and offer such a wonderful opportunity for these kids to do a public speaking opportunity. It allows the kids to present a public speech and get better prepared for the future ahead of them. To each and every single parent here tonight, without you, none of this would be possible. It's because of dedicated parents like you who are willing to support your children in out-of-classroom activities such as Tropicana and 4-H, which will truly enhance the future of these children. Thank you all again for coming today. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Anna Eppinger, who will be facilitating the remainder of this evening. I hope you all enjoy it.
Welcome. My name is Anna Eppinger. I'm the Program Assistant for Flagler County 4-H. On behalf of the University of Florida, IFAS Extension and Flagler County 4-H program, I'd like to welcome all of you to the 2019 Flagler County 4-H Tropicana Public Speaking Contest. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the 4-H Pledge. The 4-H Pledge is printed on the back of your program at the bottom right of the page. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And again, the 4-H pledge is on the back of your pamphlet. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Public speaking is one of the many life skill building programs 4-H has to offer, and I am delighted to be here this evening to host the 4-H Tropicana Public Speaking Finalist Contest. 4-H is the youth development program of the Flagler County Extension Service, a joint effort of local government and the University of Florida. Our mission is to use a learning by doing approach to help youth gain the knowledge and skills they need to be successful and thrive. Our mission is nationwide, employers are seeking to hire workforce entrants with outstanding communication skills, people who can verbally communicate with others inside and outside the organization. However, employers have indicated that high school and college graduates are deficient in basic knowledge and skills of written and verbal communication. Research shows that youth and of all ages can find public speaking helpful in building confidence and learning more about different topics. The preparation and delivery of a speech helps youth communicate ideas to others, organize thoughts, set goals, and gain experience in gathering research, which are some of the top skills sought by employers. In 4-H, youth have fun today while preparing for a successful tomorrow. With that being said, it takes many dedicated individuals to make this learning opportunity possible for the youth in our community. I would like to thank each and every one of you for your role in helping to make this special educational event a reality. Many thanks to our school principals, administrators, and specialists who allow their schools to participate in the 4-H public speaking program. The 4-H Tropicana public speaking program's success is largely due to the effort and dedication of the classroom teachers and the school speech coordinators who help implement this program. Will our school administrators and teachers please stand to be recognized, as your leadership, time, and guidance to our young speakers is vital to the positive impact of this program. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you all for being here and for the effort you have put towards conducting the 4-H Tropicana public speaking program at each of your schools. I would like to introduce our judges for the contest. Ms. Catherine Walsh is one of our dedicated Master Gardener volunteers. Julia Murphy is our Communications and Public Information Officer for Flagler County Government. And Rose Kiernan, Public Relations and Marketing Specialist for Flagler County Government. A special thanks also goes to PJ Papp, who's sitting in the hallway. She is our tabulator and keeping official time for the speeches, and is also another one of our wonderful Master Gardener volunteers. I know Alicia already did, but I'd also like to thank our county commissioners who are here with us this evening. Thanks again. We appreciate you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us here today. We're grateful to Tropicana for their partnership with the Florida 4-H program to provide this opportunity for youth throughout the state. Annually, there are over 140,000 students across the state of Florida who participate in this program, and it is important that we recognize the success of the 4-H Tropicana public speaking contest, and it's a cooperative effort between Tropicana and the 4-H program and our public schools. In addition to school personnel, we extend a big thanks to parents of youth who are participating today for all you have done in helping prepare your child for this event. I did Tropicana as a kid, and I could say that my parents listened to my speech about 10,000 times. So we really appreciate your help. Today we hear the winning speeches from 21 4th, 5th, and 6th graders in Flagler County. Remember, public speaking is fun. We all look forward to hearing you educating us about your topic. Just a few reminders before we begin. Each speech is timed. It is to be between 2 to 3 minutes. Speeches are judged using a rubric and based on composition and presentation. Restrooms are located to the right, to my right, your left. The Flagler County Government TV is going to be taping us, and we appreciate Carlos. Thank you, Carlos, for being here again. If you will be taking a photo or video of your child, just please do so discreetly as possible so that they are not distracted during their presentation. At this time, please quiet all cell phones and remain in your seats during each speech. If you do have to use the restroom or leave, please do so between the speakers. As you are aware, the judges will need a few minutes in between speeches to complete their scores. The next student is welcome to come up, but just wait until the judge gives you the okay. That way we can get the timer going and the judge is ready before you start. Okay, is everyone ready? Oh, one last thing I did want to make sure that you guys know, I made a mistake. On your program, in 4th grade, Jack Ferguson is from Old Kings, not Imagine. So, We just want to make sure we got that straight. So our first speaker today is Tyler Miller. He's from Belterre Elementary, and his speech is The Perfect Age.
Have you ever thought to yourself, what's the perfect age, where everything is just the way you want it? What would it look like? Is it being a kid like me, carefree and awesome? Being an adult like my parents? Or being retired like my grandparents? Let's check it out. We'll start with my age, 11 years old. For me, there's school, homework, and chores. Boring. But I do get to play video games, ride my bike, and go fishing. So it's not all terrible. But here's the thing. I'm not in charge, and I would like to be. Making decisions, calling the shots, being the go-to guy, that's not boring. That sounds awesome. How about we fast forward about 50 years to retirement? Is this the perfect age? While visiting my grandparents, I asked my grandpa, what do you guys do all day? Do you go to work? He smiled and said, nope, we're retired. We go bowling and play bingo. We travel when we can and spend a lot of time with our grandkids. I smiled. I love spending time with my grandparents. They always say the funniest things. For example, when we were going out, my grandpa printed out directions from MapQuest to give to my mom so she wouldn't get lost. MapQuest? We have the GPS on our phone. Silly grandpa. While retirement age has no work and lots of free time, I did notice that my grandpa takes a lot of naps and my grandma has many doctor's appointments listed on her calendar. So maybe this isn't perfect age. Now, let's rewind about 25 years from retirement to 40-year-olds, my parents. Could this be the perfect age? They are secure in their jobs, have their forever home, and are focused on the future. My dad, who can't find anything, has almost 10 pairs of glasses, but can't seem to find any of them when he needs them. He bought drawers for the garage to keep himself organized, but the drawers are mostly empty, and his tools are everywhere. No wonder he can't find anything. While adult age has its carefree moments, it also has many responsibilities and stressful moments. So maybe this isn't a perfect age either. After all things considered, I've realized that the perfect age is me, right now at age 11. Being a kid, I get to explore, discover, and get excited about my future. I've decided that not being in charge isn't such a bad thing. It gives me more time to do the things I love. So I will enjoy every minute of being a kid because I have the rest of my life to be an adult.
Next, we have Keela Browse from Old Kings Elementary with Grandfather.
Imagine an elementary school boy coming into class with a paper bag. At first, you don't think much of it. It probably just has his lunch in it or something. But as he sits down, he starts shaking the bag repeatedly over and over again. You're thinking, why is that kid shaking his lunch? Until it rips open and bees come flying out, filling the classroom with their angry buzzing. Everybody is screaming, trying to run out, but no one realizes that these are drone bees, and drone bees don't have stingers. Meet Arthur Allen Browse, my grandfather when he was younger. This was only one of his many pranks. As a young boy growing up, he loved to fish. Even when no one could catch the tiniest fish, my grandfather managed to catch the biggest of them all. When he was in the Air Force, his job was to make sure that no one hacked into their radar. He once even went on board the president's private plane, Air Force One. Because of his important job in the Air Force, he traveled all over the United States. One time, my bedtime story was of a time when my grandfather was chased around the yard by a big angry bee, and this one had a stinger. The bee chased him around the house multiple times until my grandfather finally ran into the house, leaving the bee wondering where he had gone. My grandfather was a prankster, a fisherman, and a veteran, but above all, he was devoted to his family. When his time in the Air Force was up, he considered joining again, but in the end, it took too much time away from his family, and he stayed with them. He told jokes to cheer his 5 children up and fished for dinner. On February 18, 2019, Arthur Allen Browse passed away quietly in his home. He was surrounded by his loving wife, 3 children, and 7 grandchildren. Though we will all miss him terribly, I'm grateful knowing that he lived a wonderful life.
Next, from Rimfire Elementary, we have Reese Dingle with Music, Past, Present, and Future.
So as some of you may or may not know, I was born the daughter of a DJ. As you can assume, my life has a lot to do with music. I actually came up with this topic the other day on a drive to school with my mom. I was singing along to my jam when my mom gave me the look. I responded with, "What's the matter, Mom?" She said, "What has happened to some of the music in your generation? It's like they can't come up with new words. They repeat lyrics over and over again." Needless to say, this brought on a musical discussion. Between my mom and I, we have 4 generations to discuss. I interviewed my grandfather, which starts us off in the 50s. Hello, 5 words sum up that era. King of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Every song, either fast or slow, had some type of meaning behind it. As my grandfather stated, even if the song wasn't a huge hit, Elvis had no worries because all the ladies backed him up with just his smile, whatever that means. Moving along, next up is my dad, which takes us to the 70s. You all should know some of the 70s. We got the Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever. Oh, and don't forget the big hit Grease. In case you didn't know, they made the song Grease for the movie. Come on now, as my dad says, we all got a little John Travolta in us, right? Anyways, let's continue on. Next up is my mom, which takes us to the 80s and 90s. I have to admit, this is my favorite era of music. I gave her the interview even though I'm familiar with this era. Like seriously, who doesn't know at least one Madonna song? Oh, and don't forget, Salt and Pepper, Vanilla Ice, and Sir Mix-a-Lot. Those were some other great artists. Now this era had the king of pop, Michael Jackson. He was actually in each era that I interviewed because he started off with his family in the 60s and 70s, then he went solo in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. Now that right there is real music when you can last 5 decades. Now to the present. Yes, we do have some good music out there, but some lyrics to some songs just repeat themselves. Did you know that some artists actually mimic beats from past eras? As my mom stated, it's almost like artists these days have gone lazy. I'm being honest, I somewhat agree, which brings me to the last part of my speech. Future music. I can't even imagine what our children will be listening to come the 2030s and 2040s. Could it be one-worded songs? Could it be such ignorance it could not be played on the radio? Or, as my family and I would love, could future artists bring back the sound of the oldies?
Next, we have Serenity Kersey with The Scariest Animal from Wadsworth Elementary.
There are so many animals in this world. However, I find the butterfly absolutely terrifying. Now, I can hear you laughing. Butterflies are scary. Well, they're scary to me. And now I'm going to tell you why butterflies are clearly the scariest animal in the world. First of all, butterflies have those little things on their head called antennas. Well, in my opinion, antennas are so creepy and disturbing. I cannot handle looking at them. Antennas make my skin crawl. To add on, the butterfly's tongue is probably the most cringe-worthy characteristic about butterflies. It's like watching a try not to cringe video. And personally, I am not a fan of cringe. Next, butterflies are so colorful. Now you may be like, okay, butterflies are colorful. How is that scary? Well, once upon a science lesson, I learned animals have bright colors to warn other animals of toxins in their bodies. What do we all know about butterflies? They have colorful wings. And don't get me wrong, butterflies are beautiful. But if I see a butterfly, I will run away from those tiny, terrible, terrifying creatures. Finally, butterflies are so small, you can't even see them. Well, guess what? Butterflies are clearly trying to tell you not to eat them. Well, they're toxic. And what if one flies into your mouth? Like I said, absolutely terrifying. They're toxic because when they eat milkweed leaves, the milkweed toxins integrate with the body so they can poison their predators. Now, I don't want any in my stomach. Unfortunately and unexpectedly, a girl the age of 9 named Megan Bartman died on December 8th of 2002 from accidentally swallowing a butterfly. In addition, please stay away from the African giant swallowtail. It's the most poisonous butterfly in the world. From now on, there is not going to be any butterflies in my stomach. Now you can clearly see why I despise these tiny, terrible, flying creatures.
Next up, we have Annabelle Moore from Imagine School Town Center with younger siblings. Okay. Well, if she does come up, we'll just have her come give her speech when she arrives. So what about Ashton Alonzo with siblings from First Baptist Christian?
Do any of you guys have siblings? Well, if you do, then you do know that they can sometimes be a pain. Take it from me. I have 3 sisters, 1 older sister and 2 younger sisters. But what you probably don't know, that your siblings aren't some of the little pests that some of you may think they are. They are your best friends. So let's start off with some of the more annoying things that your siblings do. For instance, the older siblings, they just think that they are so much better than you. And sometimes they'll talk to you as if they are your parents. Now, the younger siblings, they are a completely different story. If you have younger siblings, then at some point you've probably heard this before. Hey, you want to play? You want to play? You want to play? I'm telling Mom. Annoying, right? Even while you're trying to peacefully do your homework, they bother you. Well, yeah, and if you leave your room for a minute and come back, just expect your room to look, well, different. The thing is, many people talk about the bad things that their siblings do. Like, my sister pulls my hair, my brother bit me, or the usual. They're so annoying. I feel like people don't appreciate their siblings just as much as they should. You probably don't know it, but as you get older, you will most likely grow closer to your siblings. They will always be there for you if you're hurt or if you just need someone to talk to. And your older siblings, they could be a role model to you or someone to look up to. And even though you get angry sometimes at your younger siblings for copying you, just know that they're doing it because they look up to you and they want to be just like you. So from now on, I hope you appreciate your siblings just a little more because they are a gift. And just imagine how sad or lonely you would be without them. And yes, I know that you get a little annoyed with your siblings sometimes. But your siblings are some of the greatest people that you will ever meet. So think next time, when you see your siblings copying you, just know that they're doing it because they look up to you and they love you. So when you get mad next time, just remember that your siblings are your best friends and they will always be there for you.
Next, we have Gabrielle Proctor from Bunnell Elementary with How Alcohol Addiction Affects Kids.
Mom, why do you always do this? Put it down. Put the drink down. And the answer I get back is, leave me alone. It doesn't affect you. Actually, Mom, alcohol addiction does affect kids by keeping them distant from the alcohol user and possibly leading to depression and anxiety. To start with, even though the alcohol user is physically there, mentally they are not. This causes kids to become distant from them. For example, she would still make dinner, get us clothes, clean the house, and took us to all of our baseball practices and games like a mom supposed to do. But once we got home, the bottle came out. Into the garage she went, cutting out everything and everyone. Forget it. Then, if you went out there to talk to her, ask her for a hug and a kiss, or even tell her how your day was if you got 100 on that reading test, you're dead. All of a sudden, boom, like a bomb, screaming and yelling and throwing things everywhere. God forbid I talk to her after she starts drinking. I started to become distant because I felt like she was putting alcohol before me. Alcohol addiction can also affect kids by possibly leading to depression and anxiety. I know from my own experience that this happens. Statistics say every 3 out of 5 kids have depression or anxiety due to alcohol addiction, so I'm not the only one. Whew! After my mom went off to rehab, I couldn't sleep, tossing and turning all night long, dreaming if she would stand up and pick me over the alcohol or fall further into the addiction that could kill her. Being a girl that needs her mom, I hoped she would pick me. 9 long months of not being able to see or talk to her, I thought I was going to die. Literally. Although the past has been really rough, my mom's been clean for 22 months, but she struggles with sobriety every day. Recovery isn't an overnight thing. It's a lifelong commitment that my mom lives every day. And I start my emotional recovery with sharing my story with you today. And I'm happy to say my mom is back.
Next, we're going into 5th grade now. So next we have Peyton Lawrence from Belterre Elementary with The Ups and Downs of Having a Little Sister.
Today I will be telling you all about the ups and downs of having a little sister. Do you have a sister? Do you? Well, I do, so let me tell you what it's like. So, you know that feeling when you want to scream into a pillow because someone annoys you so much? So much? Yeah, well that's how I feel pretty much every day with my sister. I feel like people, especially me, kind of have a, how should I say this, love-hate relationship with their sister, little sister, because whew, there is a difference between the little one and the big one. But I truly do love my sister, little sister, gosh, get it right. The first reason I love my sister is she always gets me stuff. I mean, does she really have an option? Of course not, I'm the older one. And I don't know about your sister, but she lets me pick out her outfits and reminds me to charge my iPad. But it can get kind of annoying. She's like, Peyton, don't forget to charge your iPad. She says that like 10,000 times. I'm like, okay, it's already on the charger. Oh, and my sister and I were like the same size, so I can just borrow her clothes. But only when I really need to, because her style, not that great. Your sister is your best friend. She will always love you no matter what. She's very kind and will always be there for you. That was cheesy. But all jokes aside, your sister is amazing. She makes you laugh. She makes you smile when you're having a bad day and is the most kindest person in the whole world. Anyhow, let's talk about how your sister can be annoying, but doesn't mean it. I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? Well, it is. So, when you're in the middle of your homework and your sister walks over and says something crazy like, "Today, Jimmy totally talked back to the teacher. Like, who does he think he is?" It's just because she loves you and has nobody else to talk to. She's lonely. I found some of my information at www.odysseyonline.com, and the rest in my head. I guess what I'm trying to say is just love your sister or any other siblings.
Next, we have Logan Duckworth from Old Kings Elementary with Teach It Right.
Kids every day say that same old sentence. "I'm not going to use this ever again." And personally, I sometimes say that same sentence. Now in elementary school, there's a lot more things that you'll use sometimes in your life. But I have 2 older sisters and one of them is a freshman. In language arts, she's learning about Shakespeare. I'm sorry, but why do you need to learn that? I guarantee she won't use what she's learning ever again in her adult life. I strongly believe that we don't need to be taught those things. This might sound crazy, but kids' lives actually depend on what I say right now. If the second most common cause of death among preteens and teenagers is suicide, why don't schools teach us how to handle stress, bullying, how to overcome losing loved ones, or handling social problems that are hard to process? Teachers also say use your time wisely, but rarely are we given the time management skills that are needed. If you haven't caught on, I'm saying school should also teach those kinds of life skills. Kids all over the world suffer with the same problem, and no, I'm not doubting school, but I think there should be a change. The way that we're currently being taught reminds me of a little saying or quote. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, you feed him for life. It's the same with school. Give a kid homework, they look at it for a day. Teach a kid a life lesson, you educate them for life. Okay, let's stop talking about the problem and let's actually do something about this. So what should schools teach? I feel schools should teach important life needs, including how to pay off bills, buy a house, learn to run something. Like, seriously, why are they not teaching us this stuff? Also, what I said before, what about teaching stress management, how to deal with losing loved ones, or handling social problems? Now don't get me wrong, school is important, but not much has changed in the classroom over the years. Sure, we have technology and new ways to teach skills, but the same assignments are being given year after year, because it's what's expected. What if we replace some of those things, like worksheets and packets, with a real-life situation that need to be analyzed and solved? Then we could learn how to work in a group, access community resources, and learn what to do when your plan doesn't go your way. What about lessons that teach us how to interact and communicate, and learn that it's okay to disagree with someone? Academics are important, there's no doubt. But skills like time management and coping skills like stress management and handling social problems might be more important in the long run.
Next, we have Jasmine Vakauskas with Fluffy.
Guinea pigs. What are you gonna do about them? Especially this one. My sister's guinea pig, Fluffy. Okay, this thing is crazy. She is like a spider monkey in disguise. Another thing about Fluffy. 1 second she's all cute, and another second, she looks like she wants to bite your face off. You know how some guinea pigs, you can hold them all the time, and they are so cute, and they just look innocent? Well, Fluffy is the complete opposite. You can't hold her. That's why trimming her nails is a nightmare. And she doesn't look cute or innocent sometimes. When my sister got her for Christmas, she was the rudest little thing I've ever seen. She wouldn't even come close to us. Even when she did, she would bite us. Luckily, I didn't go near her until she got that big new cage we bought her. She seems to like it much better. Notice that keyword seems. Haven't you learned? She's a big meanie. She doesn't make the little weep sound sound she used to make when she's scared or wants something. We can pet her a lot more now, and the cage is way easier to clean. She's happy in the new cage, but if I were you, I'd still be careful. She normally doesn't get along with people she's never seen before. The cage is perfect because she's way bigger than most guinea pigs because all she does is eat and chew. Hay, treats, salt lick, popcorn, and more. She looks full grown, but she's only 3. That's how big she is. Now, if you want to be mean about it, you'd call her fat. I wouldn't recommend saying it near her, though. Some other names we call her are Fluffo, Santa Claus, Furball, and Pig. She makes a huge mess all the time. That's why I call her a pig. It makes sense, though, because she is almost as big as one. Just saying. Fluffy and I have come a long way since my sister got her. Sometimes she can be as sweet as pie, other times she can be as cuddly as a porcupine. But after all, she's my sister's pet, not mine.
Now we have Carolyn O'Lear from Wadsworth Elementary with We're Gonna Need a Bigger Boat.
Hi, I'm Carolyn, and I have been interested in sharks for a long time. Now, it started innocently enough in the 2nd grade when I saw a huge shark stuffed animal at Cracker Barrel, and I had to have it. And that shark and I were best friends. We did everything together, and wherever I went, Jaws came with me. So I got tons of books about sharks and devoured them all. And then my mom told me about a little something called Shark Week. And you can bet I ate that up real quick. So you can imagine the excitement I felt when my parents told me that we were moving to Florida. Soon after that, my innocent little hobby turned into a borderline obsession. Now, my mom suggested that before I hit the beach that I know how to protect myself in case I ever came face to snout with a shark. So here's what I know. Step 1, don't panic. I'm dead. But really, staying calm can actually do you some good. So just take a deep breath and collect your thoughts. Oh my gosh, the shark is gonna kill me. Step 2, look bigger than you are. This can make you look like a scary fish who should not be messed with. Step 3, punch it in the nose. Just be sure to aim well so you don't end up thrusting your fist right into its jaws. And step 4, fight dirty. The best things to shoot for are the eyes, gills, and snout, which are the shark's most sensitive areas. Now, although it is good to be prepared for these situations, each year more people die due to bee stings than to shark attacks. And most attacks are due to mistakes. For example, a surfer paddling towards a wave can look like a seal from below in a shark's eyes. I mean, poor thing's just doing what a shark does, right? Anyways, I guess I'll eat you later. I mean, see you later.
Up next is Sophia Posella from Imagine with Pink Slime.
Pink slime. Now, I know what you're thinking. Glitter, glue, shaving cream, kids' entertainment, you know, the sticky, messy stuff that was banned from school last year? No. Let me introduce you to a new pink slime. The pink slime I'm referring to actually comes in meat. Yuck! According to livescience.com, pink slime refers to lean beef trimmings and is a cheap filler used to beef up many meat products. Now, you'll be shocked to hear how pink slime is made, what it is used for, And what local stores and fast food restaurants right here in Palm Coast use it? Well, how is pink slime made? First of all, it is made with muscle of an animal, not meat. It is made by salvaging the muscle that gets trimmed off cuts of beef along with fat. First, the trimmings are simmered at a low temperature to separate muscle and fat, then spun in a centrifuge to complete the separation. Next, the salvaged muscle is squeezed through a pipe and sprayed with ammonia. Did you hear that? Ammonia, also known as a harmful chemical that kills bacteria. After which is dyed pink, packaged into bricks, frozen, and shipped to meat packing plants for their use to put in their product. Also, according to livescience.com. Now, I don't know about you, that makes me rethink where to buy my meats. What is pink slime used for? Pink slime is a meat byproduct used as a food additive to ground beef and beef-based processed meats as a filler or to reduce the overall fat content of ground beef. Or in other words, it gives the meat better look so people will buy it. Is that their best marketing tactic? And finally, what places like fast food restaurants and grocery stores use pink slime? Even though it is very repulsive, many places put pink slime in their meats. For example, Jewel Osco, Winn-Dixie, Food Lion, Winco, Fred Meyer, Target, BJ's, Hy-Vee, Walmart, Albertsons, Stop and Shop, and Zaycon Foods, according to sfgate.com. Once only used in pet food and cooking oil, pink slime is now used in a large but unknown percentage of places that use it. Your choice to decide, but FDA claims it is safe to eat, yet I am still skeptical. In conclusion, think about that repackaged meat you saw at one of those places I named that you just think is the greatest for your backyard barbecue. Don't be fooled. That meat you're looking at could have pink slime in it. Don't waste your money on that. Well, now you know the beef with pink slime.
Now we have Rylan Goff from First Baptist Christian Academy with Why Music is Important.
Why is music important, you ask? Well, for example, it can bring people together in many different ways, whether it be through the same tastes in music or even performing music with others. Did you know that music can reduce stress and anxieties and has a unique link to our emotions? Listening to music has a tremendously relaxing effect on our minds and bodies. Playing an instrument also seems to improve health in a variety of ways. Studies have shown that playing an instrument can reduce stress, blood pressure, and pain, as well as better sleep qualities, mental alertness, and memory. Relaxation music helps you to connect to your inner peace. This not only makes you feel better, but it can also be really good for you too. Some benefits of music are mastery and memorization, success in society, pattern recognition, and better test scores. My favorite time of the day is after school, when I get to relax myself with the music I like. Recently, I've learned how to play the guitar and the ukulele. Playing my own music relaxes me and helps me calm down. I'm fond of light-hearted music, and in the future, I would like to learn how to play either the banjo or the piano. I would like to learn how to play these instruments because I want to expand my knowledge by learning different things. As a Christian, I believe that God created us to worship with songs. He created us so intricately and knew that music would be good for our bodies, minds, souls, and spirits. Fun fact, studies have shown that babies who listened to classical music in the womb were more intelligent than those who didn't. So I would like to encourage you to listen to your favorite tune today.
Next, we have Liliana Del Buono with The Struggles of Being Blind from Vanilla Elementary.
Imagine waking up and you can't see a thing. How will I make my lunch and brush my teeth? Most Today, I'll be talking about the struggles of being blind. How do you know what you're wearing? You have to learn where everything is, and how do you get places? First, how do you know what you're wearing? What if what you're wearing doesn't match? Well, thanks to the iPhone, there are many different apps that can tell you the color of your clothes. For example, one of the apps are called Color ID. Color ID helps a blind person know what color their shirt, pants, and shoes are, so that they're more color coordinated. Next, you have to learn where everything is. The first thing you would have to do is learn where all the walls and furniture are, so that you don't bump into everything. The next thing you would have to do is organize things in your home, so you remember where everything is. The last thing you can do is label things in your pantry with brands, so you know which food is which. Finally, how do you get places? Well, a blind person can use a white cane. A white cane is basically a white stick with a little red tip at the bottom. Blind people move the white cane side to side to see if anything is in front of them. Some blind people use a service dog. Service dogs help blind people go where they need to be. Some blind people feel safer with a service dog than a white cane. If a blind person is traveling far, then they will use transportation such as Votrin, a taxi, and the county provides transportation called Votrin. In conclusion, how do you know what you're wearing? You have to learn where everything is, and how do you get places? Since technology is updating every day, it makes life for a blind person a bit easier. So, one day, put on a blindfold and see if you have any of these struggles.
We're going to move on to 4th grade now. Our first speech is Anna Buck from Belterre Elementary with the boycott of iReady.
The one thing that brings down a Friday is iReady. I will be sharing opinions of teachers and students, which is why I am prepared to convince you that we should boycott iReady. I despise iReady because of the time it takes up and the nonsense they put into the lessons. My first reason is the rubbish they put into the lessons. For example, talking penguins and hamsters. I know they're just trying to make the lessons fun, but sometimes they go too far. It may interfere with the students focusing and they may forget the main idea of what they are trying to learn. In the math test, it has animations called belly breaths that are supposed to make you calm. But every time a student does one, a teacher tells them to stop because they are making too much noise. All of this nonsense just takes away the time of so many people, which leads to my next reason. In my opinion, it takes way too long to do one lesson. If you fail a lesson, for example, and get a 63, you then have to retake the same lesson. Also, they repeat things they have already taught you. On the same note, the ready diagnostics take up a lot of time too. For some kids, it may take 2 weeks, and for some, 2 days. It is not like a time test. You can take up as much time as needed. I think that if a kid takes too long to do a test, they may miss an important detail or lesson in class. Teachers could use this iReady testing program time as a way to work on projects for the class, but they can't because they're having to watch us. Finally, I will state opinions of teachers and students. At a local middle school, a teacher explained that a test kids on items they haven't learned yet, so you could get a question wrong because you haven't learned it yet. That would definitely bring your score down dramatically. iReady decides to stop you 70% through the test, but if you end on a subject you haven't learned yet, you would end up with a lower score also. In my opinion, students with a higher level, 7th grade level, have more trouble in iReady. They are expected to go higher, but when iReady throws 8th grade questions at us, we won't know them, so we get pushed down to a 6th grade level. I know a student at a local middle school who agrees. She also explained that the stories they use for a reading diagnostic aren't even real stories. I know I wouldn't want to read a fake story. All in all, I think we should boycott iReady. Why? Well, because the time takes up and the nonsense they put into the lessons, of course.
I think you and I should team up and never fly ready again.
Next up, from Old Kings Elementary, is Jack Ferguson with How the Saints Restored Hope Post-Katrina.
Have you ever experienced a hurricane? On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina struck the city of New Orleans, causing catastrophic devastation. As the city of New Orleans struggled in the aftermath, they looked to their football team, the Saints, for hope. It may just be a game to most, but for the people of New Orleans, it is much more than that. The Saints provided new life and hope for the city. Hurricane Katrina was a Category 5 hurricane. It was the largest and one of the most costly hurricanes that hit the U.S. It killed 1,833 citizens and cost around $125.5 billion in damage. The city also experienced devastating flooding. Many people were displaced. Thousands of displaced men, women, and children sought refuge in the Superdome, trying to survive in the aftermath. They had lost their homes and everything they had. For many, this included family, friends, and even pets. The Saints were also displaced. They could no longer play their home games in the Superdome. Like most of the city, the Superdome had been severely damaged. The recovery was long and difficult for New Orleans. The Saints are considered an institution in the city of New Orleans. The fans often have nothing to look forward to or keep them going. The team brings hope and joy to their fans, who could be considered the most loyal and dedicated fans in the country. They are known as the Who Dat Nation. The turning point in the recovery was on September 25, 2006, over a year after Hurricane Katrina devastated the city. This is the day the New Orleans Saints returned to their Superdome. They won the supporting game versus their biggest rivals, the Atlanta Falcons. This win inspired hope for New Orleans. Their Saints were back. After the devastating impact of Hurricane Katrina, the Saints provided new life and hope for the city. The recovery was long and harsh and continued for many years after this turning point. The Saints and their winning season inspired the people to keep moving forward. They once again had something to look forward to. Who dat?
From Rimfire Elementary, with my favorite music singer is Dizzy and Coates.
We all have different opinions about what type of music and singers we like. Some of us like to listen to new school music, while others like to listen to old school music. New school music is music that was created within the last 10 years by singers like Beyonce, Chris Brown, Rihanna, or Justin Bieber. Old school music is music that was created 20 or more years ago by singers like Michael Jackson, The Temptations, The Whisperers, or the Bee Gees. Raise your hand if you like new school music. What about old school music? I like old school music because it has soul. A lot of people I meet say I have old soul because I know so much about old school music. Now, my dad is responsible for introducing me to old school music when I was a baby. We still listen to music together. Now that I've shared with you my favorite music, can you guess who's my favorite singer? I will give you a few hints. The first hint is he started singing at age 7 and became a professional singer at age 13. And the second is all of his siblings are favorite singers. And the third is he was the king of pop. If you guess Michael Jackson, you are correct. Michael Jackson is one of the greatest singers in the world. He began singing in the group named Jackson 5, and the group was created by his dad, Joseph Jackson. My favorite type of music by Michael Jackson includes A, B, C. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And there are plenty more. Michael Jackson is one of the greatest singers in the world. He began singing, Michael Jackson is a very, very good dancer. A man named Jeffrey Daniels taught him how to do the backslide. Then Michael Jackson changed it to the moonwalk. Sad to say that on June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson's life came to a sudden end. The whole world was in shock. Hundreds of people gathered outside the hospital, sung their songs, and cried. You may ask, how do I know? My dad told me so. I was only 2 months back then. The memory of Michael Jackson still exists today. His music is played by radio stations all over the world. In my opinion, Michael Jackson will always be the king of pop because his music is so darn good. Thank you.
Next, from Wadsworth Elementary, is Grace Myers with Thoroughbred Horses.
Nay, nay. I'm going to tell you about horse breeds, what they are for, and a specific type of horse breed, which is the thoroughbred horse. Do you like horses? If you do, you will like my speech. In addition, horse breeds are how you can identify horses. Some horse breeds are thoroughbred, quarter horse, Clydesdale, Mustang, and a Shetland pony, and many more. There are over 1,400 horse breeds and under 1,400 pony breeds. There are draft horses, driving types, and light horses are for riding and racing. All different horse breeds are very important. To begin with, all breeds are used for something. Clydesdales are used for pulling heavy loads because they are very, very strong. Thoroughbreds are used for racing. Andalusians and Lipizzaners were developed to carry soldiers into battle. The Shetland pony and Welsh pony are brought to farms and petting zoos. All horse breeds are needed in different locations of the world, and each one serves its need. This is why there are so many horse breeds all over the world. Furthermore, thoroughbreds are known for their fast running and high spirit. They are also bred for other riding disciplines, such as show jumping, dressage, polo, and fox hunting. They are also bred for other riding disciplines, such as western riding and barrel racing. When the Kentucky Derby came around, horses were worth a lot of money. One time, it went up to $133.5 million, if a horse does win. In conclusion, horses are amazing and do amazing things. We humans need to treat horses with kindness. Horses have feelings too. In my opinion, horses help me by, if I'm having a rough day, they would cheer me up by doing something funny, or if I'd ride in a funny way. They are also emotional support horses, where they would come into hospitals and visit people. Horses are not just used for the basics. There are many other incredible things they can do.
Next, from Imagine School Town Center, is Prem Prakash Patel with The Fear of Failure.
We all try to do something, big or small, every day in our lives, correct? But have you heard of people saying, you can't do that, you won't make it, and then when you really fail, it's highly common to hear, see, I told you not to do it. People. The only problem is, after we hear all this, there are 2 things that happen to us. One, which is the good news. We think 100 times before doing anything. Why? Not only do we want things to work, we do not want to fail and hear people saying, see, I told you not to do it. 2, which is the bad news. Trust me, 80% of the time, illusion of failure makes us panic and give up whatever big or small thing you want to do. Isn't that highly annoying, the panic of failure? My friends, all I want to tell you is fear of failure is nothing but an illusion. Illusion is not a real thing. There's absolutely nothing to panic about. Okay, if you don't believe me, I'm sure you believe the famous basketball player Michael Jordan. According to my research, he has led his team to 6 national championships, 10 scoring titles, and 14 NBA All-Star Game MVP awards. Wow.
He says, quote, I know fear is an obstacle for some people, but it's an illusion to me. Failure always made me try harder next time, unquote. Well, looks like Michael Jordan is something of a legend for turning failure into success. Speaking about his failure, 26 times he had been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. Could you believe it? Missing a game-winning shot 26 times. 300 times he has lost games and misses more than 9,000 shots in his career, and each of active failure made him try harder next time. Thinking twice before doing anything is good, but giving up due to fear of failure, not good. Fear is an illusion, but failure is a ladder to success.
Next, we have Jalen Testa from Bunnell Elementary with banning plastic straws.
Just imagine swimming in the sea. Suddenly you come across a turtle with plastic tied around its body. Plastic straws are just the tip of the iceberg. If all plastic straws on our coastline today were washed into our oceans overnight, they would account for less than 1% of the plastic waste that's estimated to enter our marine ecosystems annually. In the US alone, there are 7.5 million plastic straws on our coastline. To start off with, plastic straws, plastic bags, and other pieces of litter cause a lot of pollution. There is no doubt. 5 million straws are used in the US every day. That's enough to fill 125 school buses. Plastic straws are amongst the top 5 items collected on beaches every year. About 90% of trash in the US oceans is made from plastic. Plastic trash pollutes most marine habitats, including the deep sea, coral reefs, beaches, and rivers. In most places, plastic straws cannot even be recycled. Straws and other plastic harm sea life, including fish, turtles, and coral reefs. Straws are easily carried away by wind, ending up littering our beaches and in our oceans and waterways. The U.S. uses enough plastic straws to wrap around the Earth 2.5 times. About 90% of seabirds and 30% of turtles have plastic in their stomachs. Plastic breaks down into smaller pieces, but never fully goes away. How can you help? Reduce your use of single-use plastics, participate in beach or river cleanups, pick up litter and properly dispose it. We can make a change by using paper straws, reusable straws, stainless steel straws, or just no straw at all. So come on, do your part. Help heal our world, our home, our future.
Our final contestant this evening is Isabella Prieto from First Baptist Christian Academy with Venezuelan Christmas.
Have you lived such special moments that despite the time are always in your mind? Since I arrived to the United States from Venezuela 2 years ago, every December come to my mind memories of the Christmas traditions of my country, and today I want to share them with you. Every December 21st in Venezuela is a special day because families gather to cook the typical dish, hallacas. Hallacas are like tamales made with corn flour stuffed with meat stew, wrapped in banana leaf and tied with a white string. That day, each family member has an assignment in the process. My grandmother is in charge of making the meat stew. My aunt and my mom are responsible for chopping the ingredients to decorate the hallaca, like red pepper, onion, chicken, and other ingredients. Children, under the supervision of an adult, are responsible for cleaning the banana leaves. Men of the family wrap them. And at the end of the day, we eat the first hallacas of the year. And honestly, I feel kind of relieved when we're done with all the work. On December 24th, we have a special dinner. We eat adagas, turkey or baked chicken, ham bread, potato salad, and a typical dessert that is only eaten at Christmas called papaya candy. And while everyone is sitting at the table, we thank God for the dinner we enjoyed. We thank for having health and for keeping us together as a family. After the dinner, we wait until 12 a.m. to open our presents while listening to Christmas songs. Another special day I remember is New Year's Eve, in which each family buys large amounts of fireworks and lights them at midnight. At that time, people leave their homes to see the sky lit. The funny thing about the New Year is that there is a tradition of eating 12 grapes in the last 12 seconds of the year. Each one represents a desire for the New Year, and obviously, almost nobody succeeds. I had at least 4, but my grandpa eats all 12, so when it's time to say Happy New Year, he has a mouthful of grapes. Finally, although I always keep a piece of Venezuela in my heart, I feel blessed to be in this wonderful country that has given me an opportunity to learn a new language, a new culture, meet wonderful people, and my best friends.
That was outstanding. Let's please give everyone a round of applause for their wonderful efforts and speeches today. While the scores are being tallied, please help yourself to the refreshments and the snacks in the back. There's also a flyer about an upcoming open house that we have. I'd also like to invite any of the commissioners or the county administrator up tonight as we do the awards later. If any of you guys would like to come and help the awards, please feel free to come up as Anna announces them. And like I said, please feel free to take a little bit of break. It's going to be about 10 or 15 minutes, so enjoy yourself. And thank you guys all again. You did an outstanding job.
Okay. It's time to announce the placing for today's contest. We're going to start with those receiving a certificate of participation. So as I call your name, come up to get your certificate. First we have Rylan Goff. Annabelle Moore.
Good job.
Serenity Kersey. Grace Myers. Jasmine Vikoskis. Dezion Coates.
Congratulations. Well done.
Keela Browse.
Well done.
Jack Ferguson.
Congratulations. Good job. Good job. Very good.
Liliana Delbuno.
Good job. Good job. Okay.
I'm going to say honorable mention
Okay.
and then go.
We're going to start with our 4th grade winners. Starting with honorable mention is Anna Buck.
Well done. Congratulations.
In third place is Isabella Prieto.
Congratulations. Congratulations, you did a great job. Congratulations.
In second place, Prem Prakash Patel.
Good job. Well done. Well done.
And our fourth grade winner is Jalen Testa. For fifth grade, honorable mention goes to Logan Duckworth. Third place is Peyton Lawrence.
Yeah, don't forget about your sister. Congratulations.
In second place, we have Sophia Posella.
Great job. Great job.
And our fifth grade winner is Carolyn O'Lear. Sixth grade honorable mention goes to Ashton Alonzo.
Congratulations. Good job.
Third place is Reese Dingle. Second place, Tyler Miller. And our 6th grade winner is Gabrielle Proctor.
Well, congrats. Great job. Proud of you.
Congratulations to all of the young speakers today. You guys all did a fantastic job. Let's give them another round of applause. I hope everyone enjoyed today's speeches. Thank you all for taking time to come out and support our youth. If you'd like more information on other opportunities with 4-H, please contact myself or Alicia Hutchinson, our 4-H agent. And thank you, and all have safe travels home.
Thank you.